So have you ever seen a brand new crypto token just launch into absolute chaos? That is exactly what happened with AriaAI. Its debut was so explosive it left everybody asking the same thing. Are we looking at some powerful new tech, or is this just a rocket ship fueled by pure, unfiltered hype? Let's dive in and decode what really went on. Yeah, you are seeing that right. In a single day, the price shot up an incredible 41.5%. It blasted off from around 33 cents to a peak of over 47 cents. I mean, the hype was absolutely real, the excitement was off the charts, and for a minute there, it looked like this thing was on a one-way trip to the moon. But this kind of explosion in activity forces us to ask that huge question. What in the world was going on here? Was this just a classic crypto frenzy, all speculation and no substance? Or were we watching the chaotic but brilliant birth of something genuinely groundbreaking? Okay, to really get a handle on this chaos, we have to look at what was pushing that price skyward in the first place. This wasn't just some random fluke. It was the perfect storm of bullish drivers all hitting at once. A few key things created this perfect storm. First, trading volume just exploded to over $53 million. A lot of that was happening on decentralized exchanges. You can think of them as these wide-open crypto marketplaces. And this all went down right in the middle of a massive AI craze. To top it all off, the project got a nod from a huge asset manager, Grayscale, which just poured gasoline on the fire, making everyone think the big players were quietly buying in. But here is the real kicker. Despite all of this insane action, there was complete radio silence from the project itself. No big announcements, no major investor news, nothing. This quote from BitGet News says it all. The entire surge was being driven by pure market buzz and speculation, not by any concrete news. And you know how this story usually goes in crypto? What goes up often comes down. And sometimes it comes down hard. That rocket didn't just dip, it started getting yanked back down to earth by some pretty powerful bearish forces. Let's look at the other side of this crypto tug-of-war. This is it. This is the classic battle between greed and fear. On one side, you had all that bullish hype, but on the other, new pressures started pulling the price back down. Early investors started cashing out their profits. An airdrop, which is basically a free distribution of new tokens, dumped a bunch of new supply onto the market that people started to sell. Throw in a weaker overall market and some flashing red technical signs, and suddenly the bears were in control. And one of the biggest warning signs was this number right here. The RSI, or Relative Strength Index, hit a scorching 83.99. Now, for traders, this is a massive red flag that an asset is getting dangerously overvalued. But what does that actually mean? To put it simply, overbought means the party might be over. The price has just gone up way too far, way too fast, and the market is screaming that a correction, a pullback, is probably coming. It's a sign that the bulls are running out of steam. Okay, so we've talked a ton about the price action, the charts, the madness, but that's only half the story, right? What does AriaAI actually do? Let's peel back the layers and look at the real technology behind all this market frenzy. So at its heart, AriaAI is a really ambitious experiment. It's an AI-powered Japanese role-playing game, or JRPG, that's built on the Solana blockchain, which is known for being super fast and cheap. The vision here is to create these stunning Disney-style immersive worlds that have the quality of a traditional game, but with the ownership and decentralized benefits of Web3. And here's the crucial point. The ARIA token isn't just for speculating. It's basically the engine that runs the entire ecosystem. If you hold the token, you can vote on the game's future. You use it for in-game purchases. It gets you access to special AI features. And you can earn more of it as a reward for actually playing. So it has real, tangible uses. So after all that drama, AriaAI's wild first week left everyone wondering the same thing. Was that crash a giant red flag, or was it a golden opportunity? This brings us to a tale of two very different futures for this project. You know, despite that crazy volatility, investor sentiment, at least in the very short term, is still surprisingly optimistic. Looking at a one-day time frame, 69% of the market sentiment was bullish. That suggests a lot of traders think this story is far from over. But, man, when you look further out, the picture gets a whole lot messier. This just perfectly illustrates the uncertainty. I mean, look at this range of predictions for the end of 2026. You've got Gate.com projecting a pretty modest average of around 46 cents, while Grok AI is forecasting over $1. That massive spread just goes to show how unpredictable the market thinks this token really is. So for anyone watching this now, it really all comes down to these key price levels. The big question is whether the price can hold strong above that 40-cent support level. If it can, and then manage to push past 46 cents, the bulls might just be back in charge. But if it breaks below that support range, we could easily see it drop down toward 30 cents. All right, with all that in mind, let's just zoom out for a second and think about the bigger picture here. What can the story of this one token, AriaAI, really teach us about the entire AI crypto boom we're in? You've probably heard that classic saying, right? That in a gold rush, the people who really got rich weren't always the ones digging for gold. They were the ones selling the shovels and pickaxes. And that analogy is just so perfect for the AI revolution we're all living through right now. And all of this leaves us with one last huge question to chew on. As we're all racing toward this massive AI future, everyone's focused on the shiny new AI models. That's the gold. But is the AI itself really the most valuable part? Or is it the clean, reliable, human-verified data, the shovels, that powers all of it? Definitely something to think about.